It's gonna get dark really fast. Sun's going down.
Should we go?
Yes, sure, man. I've got a few questions for you, but I'm not sure if we can.
Just ask.
I mean, what's your take on like this journey? How has it been for you? Like, do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Like, what the stress or like, do you have any stress? It seems that you don't have it. For me, because sometimes I'll feel stressful like if I don't finish the edits and all.
So these past 6 months have been honestly pretty great. When we first started this, we kind of had the expectation that this was not going to be easy, and we are very new into this field. So I would say that the 6 months have been a lot of learning, a lot of new experiences, and also a lot of really just figuring out things as we go, right? I think the good thing is that we have found each other, which I think we are quite complementary in the sense that we both know that we just gotta do whatever it takes to get the job done. So we may not know exactly how to do something, or we may not be like the expert in it, but I feel yeah. But I feel like we always somehow try to figure it out. And another thing that I would say is great is that we don't really like feel the need to, okay, like let's say we have tasks that we need to do, or we have a job that we're supposed to do, or we have a client that wants a certain expectation. Our dynamic is not really like today is actually supposed to be a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like as we are shooting this now is
it's a public holiday.
And we just finished a shoot.
Yeah.
Right.
I just came from a wedding, but I mean, you guys would know from the vlogs already. Yeah, we don't have this.
I think to answer the other part of the question, which is, am I not stressed at all?
Yeah.
I'm definitely very stressed a lot of time. But I think like something I've learned is that empathy is very important, right? Like, of course, sometimes things are slower than I think it will be, or things are not done on time, for example. Of course, my first instinct is to kind of be annoyed or be frustrated. But I feel like because our eventual goal is to build an agency, we want to build up a team, a good team that has good capabilities, that have good values. So I think eventually we're going to become, leaders of this company, right? And to me, if you're going to be a leader and you don't have empathy, your guys are not going to care about you. They're not going to work hard for you.
Yep.
Right? Because the truth is everyone has their own challenges outside of work.
Yep.
Right? So like you don't know, like maybe you're not responding on a text because you're settling something at home, right? Or your family has something or whatever, right? Like just the other day, so for context, like he's from Myanmar, right? Just the other day his country had an earthquake.
Yep.
And imagine what would be your thought if I was annoyed when you needed time to process what's going on, with your country and stuff like that. Like, and that's to me like what I wished people would do for me when I work under them. Now that we are progressing towards building a company, I think the more important thing is that we have empathy. We focus on our employees in the future being people, right? Not really just workers. So yes, I'm stressed sometimes, but I think the worst thing that we can do when we're stressed is to take it out on each other.
Yeah.
Or take it out on our workers in the future, and just try to remember that, okay, like this thing has happened. Let's focus on resolving it.
Yep.
Rather than being angry with each other, which does not do anything. Yeah. So that's kind of how I would answer that. Of course, I'm sometimes very tired, but I think to me, like, this is the path I've chosen. And like we had this huge build up to starting this thing, right? Like it wasn't like they told me about this and then like one day later we just start doing it. It was like a few months of
It took a while.
Yeah. So a few months of like talking back and forth. Even though you like right now it seems like you are the one that took a while, but even for me, like I was hesitant because to me, like I've started other business before. I know that at the start it takes, or even not at the start, but like throughout the whole thing, it takes up a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. You need to constantly be involved, thinking about it. I think I signed up for it, so the only thing we can do from now is just do our best.
Yeah, actually I'm quite impressed with him. Really, like, so there are times like I think first few months when we started off, right, I was actually still working, not full time, but I was still helping out at a brewery. And then there will be times where I know that he will be busy as well, but there will be times where, at the, let's say for example, like last night, 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, he's still asking me about work. Like when I wake up, I'm like, wow, shit, this guy never sleep. Like, in my mind, I'm like, wow, this guy never sleep. Like, I need to put in like the same amount of effort, like how he's putting in. Most of the time, you actually pushes me a lot. Yeah,
That's good.
really, really. Because
Yeah, I mean,
some of the time, I really, because most of the things that, like some of the things that I'm currently doing, right, it requires me to be physically there most of the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that was one of the reason why I fully left brewery. Because if I were to be doing part-time or even like contract based, I think like we won't be able to fulfill all the clients' need, because currently right now I think we've done okay, and we have quite a lot of things to do. So
for the first few months, I know you always say that I push you to be better, but I also always say that you actually push me to be better also. I mean, just the fact that you were willing to go in this, I would say almost 100%, is, to me as a person, that's like wow. Because we live in Singapore where stability is very valued, right? But you just completely forgot that, to do this with me. So to me, the way I see it is also like, sometimes when I'm doing stuff that I don't like in this industry, I would remind myself like, this guy gave up, his job to do this with you. You can't just give up now. Like sometimes when I talk to clients, right, part of that conviction or part of that confidence comes from the fact that I know that both of us working as a team will get it done. Even the most recent kind of work that we have done, like maybe it wasn't perfect off the bat, but we worked through whatever the client wants and made it to her specifications.
we learn from it.
Yeah, we learned from it, but the most important thing is that we didn't give up in saying like, like, we don't need we don't, like this in the contract, we don't need to do this. But because we both have the same mindset, like let's get the client happy. I like to read a lot of business books or like autobiographies. So I read books. I'm not saying that I'm Elon Musk, but I read books about Elon Musk. I read books about Steve Jobs, that kind of genre. And what you'll notice about a lot of them is that they go through like insane setbacks for like years. Right. And the reward is not even there. You can't even see the reward. But they just somehow believe in this so much. That they just keep going.
Yes.
And I feel like that is where it's hard. Because if you are not truly passionate about, I would say two things. Number one, your industry you're in. And number two, business in general. There's no way you can do this, I feel. Because you just can't get a reward at the start.
These kind of like thoughts go through my mind all the time. But the thing is, every time I have this thought, right, I don't know if it's luck or hard work, it always seems to have like a positive outcome after a few days of like, what the hell, is this gonna work out? Like it's been 4 months, like, we haven't got another, additional client. Then suddenly, boom, someone refer us, or like someone wants to work with us. Doesn't matter if it's like a short-term project or the long-term one. Slowly we are getting there, and then there's hope. There's always like, wow, okay, maybe I shouldn't give up yet. Let's keep going. That's like always happening on my mind. It's just like sharing with you.
I completely understand. I mean, even maybe me, I don't have much commercial experience in this industry. So even at the start, there will be a lot of doubts in terms of myself, right? Whereby I think about, can I really do this? But I feel like what makes us stand out a lot is that, again, like we will just make it happen. Right? Like doesn't matter if it's something we've never done before or something we've done before. Somehow we'll just make it happen. Right? I mean, look at where we are at now. Like this is basically post shoot, right? From one of our clients. He wants us to do a 5-set chat in an absurd place, and we have never shot at such a location before. Not to say that this is a hard location to shoot, but it's definitely new.
Yeah.
right? And I think where our strength comes from is really that we aren't afraid to try,
Yeah.
right? So maybe some other companies may say like, oh, we don't do this kind of thing.
They might charge extra for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I said in the vlogs, in my previous vlog, is that we are currently accommodating a lot to the clients. Like that's what I feel, and like we are like just, we don't really, how do I say it? We don't really charge extra for all the inputs, or like the idea input, the ideation, or planning out, or even posting and managing the social media.
Yep.
But so far we are just doing it because we want to work this out. But I think in the future maybe we can adjust that, a little bit.
for
But yeah,
So
so
the
far
way
it's all good.
the way, I mean, some of the viewers may say that, oh, why are you guys lowballing?
Yeah.
Right? But to me, I see it in a different way.
Yep.
I see it in a way whereby a few things. So number one is that they are giving us a chance,
Yep.
right? Some of these businesses, they're tight on cash. They're struggling. They don't believe in marketing, but they still give us a chance. And like we always think about it from our perspective as the service provider. But how about our clients? Like, this is, like, example, $1,000 of the client's money.
Yep.
And what if the client's only earning $1,000 profit?
Yep.
Right? Like I feel like we cannot always see it from like our industry perspective.
Yep.
Right. So to me that's one thing. The second thing is like, although we may not be charging at super high rates, but I'm also thinking that this is a good platform for us to learn,
Yep.
a good platform for us to build reputation, to build our skills, so that when it eventually comes to a point where we are ready, I think naturally, and we keep improving, naturally, our clientele will get bigger.
Yep.
Our fees will get more expensive just by the nature of it, not really like by forcing it, right?
Yep.
Like we can definitely charge, example, $2,000 or let's say like $1,000 for a video shoot. But what that does is that we are just basically becoming like everyone else in the industry,
Yep.
right? We are just offering the exact same thing at the exact same price, and then it's just down to who can sell better. Compared to what we are doing now, where it's really more of, I feel, a growth kind of strategy, where our clientele right now is really a lot of people who may not be able to afford super professional videography. And people can like flame us and say, oh, like you guys like ruining the market. But I feel like what they're not understanding is that there are people who are running businesses that simply cannot afford to pay $1,000 for a video.
Yep.
Like, it's not even that they don't want to or they're cheapskate, it's like they legit can't. But
Yep.
the ROI for that video for them could be insane,
Yep.
right?
Actually, I don't think we are ruining the market because, like, to be honest, like, because there's quite a lot of like other companies who are doing it cheaper, and even, I don't know, like honestly, in my opinion, it's like they're not really, how do I say it? They're not really giving the value. Yeah, that's how I feel, because you know that this company does the marketing for this certain company, F&B or FA or whatsoever, right? But when you look at it, the videos, that you can see that there's not much thoughts behind it. There's not much effort in the videos. So yeah,
I think that's kind of what happens when you charge your services based on price,
yeah,
right? Because then it's more of like, okay, you pay me
this amount,
this
I'll
amount,
shoot this, like,
I'll shoot 3,
yeah,
and then
quality.
like I don't care what's the outcome, I'll just shoot 3.
Yeah.
Right. For us, I think it's more value based and a little bit more trust based also.
Yeah.
Right. So our clients who have become more successful through working with us, they have the intention to get us on retainer. I think also it's because of the intention that we are working with. So to us, like, our intention is to help the businesses through social media. Right. Our intention is not to create social media content. If you create social media content and it does nothing for the business, then there's really no point in creating social media content. So to us, it's like, okay, you're paying us this fee, we are helping you with your business, in terms of the marketing area, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I feel we are different.
Yep.
Most other companies, I'm not saying all, but most other companies, I would say, their approach is more, you're paying me for the service to create social media content. Ours is, you're hiring us to help us with our business through marketing.
Yep.
I feel that's kind of why.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Right. Do you feel that
Yeah.
also? Yeah.
It's a nice way to put it.
And I think we get to meet like a lot of wonderful people through this mindset. We get to meet and work very closely together with business owners.
Yep.
We just meet like the people behind the scenes. We get to talk to them, understand really like what's going on in their business, what's their business outcomes, like who are the people supporting their business,
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe you can tell everyone about how you got to this. Maybe we start from when you graduated, right? Because most people assume that when you graduate, you go into a corporate job.
Yeah. So when I graduate, I was actually supposed to join DBS, like banking. I think probably sales. I can't remember. But then at the very last minute, I changed my mind, and there was a friend. I wouldn't say he's a boss. He's like a very good friend. We've been working for like 9 years. Since like when I did part-time. So I'm very much into brewing beers. I like it when people say that, oh my god, this beer is so good. Like, when they express the flavor, when they taste the beer, it feels good for them and it brings joy to them. Like those like really craft beer kicks. So that's what I enjoy doing. And he was like, why do you want to join DBS? Like, why not just pursue and learn more about brewing? So last minute I changed my mind, and then I follow his advice, and I really go for the things that I love. Which is brewing, and I did that for like 3 years, like full time.
Okay. And after that, how did you get into? I know you were working in F&B.
Yep.
And then how do you eventually end up here, whatever we're doing right now?
Doing now? Wow. Okay. So I think one reason is that he gave me a lot of confidence, because I love this, right? I study marketing, and I always been doing everything that is related to marketing, like content creation, to taking care of people, social media and all. And I do my own YouTube. So this is what I've been always doing, right? But I've never had the confidence to do it full time, or like start a company or anything, because for me personally, it's quite tough if I don't have a full-time job and I don't have a stable income, because as a foreigner who doesn't live here, like our expenses are quite high. So I was very scared, like honestly, like very scared to move to the things that but in terms of brewing part, I think I'm at the max. I'm not saying that I'm the best brewer out there, but I think I've maxed out, because I did that for like 7 years. Like I'm 29 now, so like I've been doing that for a very long time, and there's no growth for me. At least I built a company of like brewing company, which is also huge amount of capital and a huge So when I met him, he was like, bro, you do this, you do that. And I always share everything that I know. I don't gatekeep or anything. I just tell him everything. And then he was like, oh my god, no, we have the opportunity. He's interested. Like, why don't we start this? And like, that's why it took me quite a while to jump into this. But then I wasn't really I feel like I needed a change. So sure, let's give this a try. So I have last time when I started off, I have a limit. So I was giving this like a 12-month thing, but I think I do see potential, and I feel like it will take us a while, maybe more than 12 months. So if it takes us more than 12 months, then I just have to figure out like how I can survive here in Singapore without having a full-time job.
I definitely can see why it's so scary, especially in Singapore. Maybe just want to ask, like, how is it like being completely self-employed in Singapore?
Oh wow, how is it like? I don't know, man. It's quite stress-free, but at the same time, sometimes, right, I do miss the the 9 to 5, because okay, this is something that I learned online. Like, we need to have a schedule and like a routine to help us grow better, to help us do better, which is exactly what you do in your like 9 to 5. So basically means that like this, I'm just having the freedom to create my own routine.
Yeah.
It will take you a while, but yeah, just creating your own routine, that's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true because in a corporate, there's this term 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Which basically just means that from a certain amount of time, or from like in this case 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be in the office. You're supposed to be working for the company.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not necessarily the most productive,
Yeah.
right? Because what you're essentially saying is sit down for 8 hours
Yeah.
and work non-stop.
Squeeze out. Yeah.
But I guess the truth of the matter is that for most people, I would say, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I would say for some people, sitting down for 8 hours is not productive.
Yep.
Some people need more breaks in between,
Yep.
right? Some people simply might find it harder to accommodate that kind of timing.
Yep. Definitely. Because I think, or what I was thinking something like, especially people for our line of work, especially when we are doing this, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I like prepare to edit some client's video, and then I'll just go into a blank mode, like where I have no idea what to start off with, like how to edit, or like where to start off, like exactly how this video is gonna go about. So I'll have to go for a run, go for a walk, which I think if I was in my previous line of work, there's no way I can do that.
Yeah, for sure. It just simply would not be okay.
Yeah, that's something that I like. Very flexible.
Yeah, so I would say like there are certain things that are more constraining. Obviously, like this work or like doing your own business is not all like roses. There are some parts where I would say it's more, I guess the word is conscriptive.
Yep.
Constraining, I don't know. One example I can think of that is that, we work basically round the clock. Doesn't matter if it's 8 a.m., doesn't matter if it's 9 p.m.
Yep.
Right? Sometimes you just gotta reply on the spot. You gotta think of stuff on the spot. We're settling his stuff. I was actually out with my girlfriend. So I had to tell her like, okay, wait, I go and like search through
find the interview video. Okay.
and then upload it. I would say you don't really get more free time.
Yep.
It's just that you are responsible for yourself.
Yes.
Right. You are
That is-
responsible.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna be working more than what you work in 9 to 5. But like I said previously, you are gonna have the freedom when you face like a wall.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna go grab a hammer to break down the wall, or just go and find another way to walk around it. You definitely have that kind of freedom. But once you get past the wall, you're just going
Non-stop,
gonna work non-stop until you find another wall. Yeah.
And I think that's
Damn.
something that
Damn.
No, I honestly think that there's something that I really like about I don't know if it's about running your own business or about this industry, I'm not sure, but it's also about being accountable for your own things, right? Like it's as simple as if you can't deliver it, you're just not gonna get paid by the customer.
Yep.
So you have no choice but to figure it out.
Yep.
But that gives me, I don't know if it gives you, but it gives me a lot of satisfaction, like when you actually solve it, because it's just very different from being a corporate job where you are just mainly, I would say, doing tasks
Yep.
given to you by your manager who delegates downwards. I hope that the company we create is not like that. Obviously, to some extent, it would have to be a bit of like that. But I do hope that we continue to build up people such that they have their own accountability, their own creativity. And essentially, what I hope is that our employees don't need to be bound to a 9 to 5. It may be wishful thinking, but that's my hope.
Yeah. Hope for that as well, bro.
Nice,
bro. Hey, I like the
it's
war
quite nice.
part, bro.
You know what? Yeah, it's a nice analogy. And it is a damn nice place to shoot.